Good evening, everyone. The webinar will start in 2 minutes. Good evening and a very warm welcome to you all, and thanks for joining us for this webinar on Inclusive Wiltshire. My name is Sue Ellison and I'm part of the communications team here at Wiltshire Council. I'm joined here today by Councillor John Hubbard, Cabinet Member for Children's Services, Catherine Davies, Director Education and Skills, Lucy-Anne Bryant, Service Lead, Families and Children's Commissioning, Rob Paget, Inclusive Activities Lead, and Jo Turner-McMullen, Local Offer Manager. Before we start, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to how this webinar will work. So we can go to the next slide. Thank you. If you wish to see closed captions of speakers' words, then please click on the CC button on the bottom right of the screen, and they should then appear after 30 seconds or so. If you are having any technical problems, the most common solution is to switch it off and switch it on again. So please close Teams or your browser, reopen it, and click on the meeting link again that was sent through earlier. Other problems may be down to your home internet connection. If you're hearing an echo, it may be that you have this event open in 2 or more windows. You are welcome to submit a question to be answered using the chat function. And if you do so, please also leave your name if you can. Our panel will verbally answer as many questions as they're able to, but we may not get to them all. Many of you will also kindly submit questions before the event, and we will also aim to answer as many of those as we can today. You should be able to see slides on your screen, and over on the other side, you should be able to see the Q&A panel. For some of you, it may be beneath your screen and you'll need to scroll down to see it. You may need to click on the icon of 2 overlapping speech bubbles to open this panel. We will also use this panel to make any announcements. Finally, I just need to make you aware that this webinar is being recorded and the recording will be uploaded to YouTube after the event. However, the only faces and voices that will be seen and heard in the video will be those of the presenters. Anyone attending the webinar won't be seen or heard. Right, so I'll now hand over to Councillor John Hubbard, Cabinet Member for Children's Services. Thank you.
Good evening, and it's a real pleasure to welcome you all to this Inclusive Wiltshire webinar. Inclusive Wiltshire is our new approach to supporting children and young people with additional needs and special educational needs and disabilities. It's bringing together activities, opportunities, and support in a way that's much easier to access, more flexible, and shaped by what families have told us they want and need. At its core, it's about making sure children and young people can take part in the things that matter to them, building confidence, making friends, and feeling part of their communities. And just as importantly, it's about working together with families, partners, and providers to keep growing that offer over time. The programme itself has been shaped by feedback, and that commitment to working together with you will continue as we move forward. And the level of interest we've seen shows just how much this matters. We've had more than 4,000 families registering already and look forward to many more. It tells us there is a real appetite to work together to get this right. And that gives me great confidence as we move forward into this next phase. So thank you again for joining us and for being part of Inclusive Wiltshire. I'll now hand over to Catherine Davis. Thank you.
Thanks very much, John. Hello, everybody. I'm Catherine Davis. I'm the Director for Education and Skills at Wiltshire Council. As John mentioned, Inclusive Wiltshire has been shaped through long-term conversations with our families of children with SEND and the partners that we work with too. And it's about creating a new, more flexible way for children and young people to access activities across Wiltshire. Now, we know that the previous short breaks model had some limitations. It focused on those with an education, health and care plan. And what we're trying to do here is to introduce something that is much broader and more inclusive so that more families can benefit and find something that works for them. Can I have the next slide, please? Apologies. There are four options, and I just want to talk through those four options before we move on. And the first of those options is community activities. And those community activities are for children and young people aged 0 up to 25, a wide range of inclusive local activities. And we're looking forward to adding to those as Inclusive Wiltshire develops over time. The second option is the activity payment, and that's open for ages 6 to 18, and it's an annual payment for eligible children and young people. The third option is Activity Plus for ages 8 to 16, and that's about offering extra support for children and young people to access activities. And Activity Extra is for ages 6 to 18, and that's where we have enhanced specialist support through Bernardo's for eligible children and young people with more complex needs. Now, I think what's really important to note is that we're continuing to grow the number and range of activities available, working with providers to expand what's on offer and make sure it reflects the different needs and interests of our children and young people. We do recognise that with any big change like this, there's going to be questions, and we know there's still more for us to learn and to improve. And that's why sessions like today's webinar are so important. So I just want to say thank you from us really for your patience, and also a big thank you for your feedback as we continue to develop the programme. This is very much a journey, and we're committed to working with you, listening to your feedback in order to get it right. And now's the time to move on to the next slide. And I'm really pleased to pass on to Rob Paget and to Jo Turner-McMullen for some more insights. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Catherine. Hi, everyone. My name's Rob Paget, the Inclusive Activities Lead within the Sport and Physical Activity team at Wiltshire Council. I'm going to briefly provide some additional information on the Activity Plus offer. So Activity Plus creates a welcoming, inclusive opportunities for children and young people who need extra support to access activities and is available for young people aged 8 to 16. The sport and physical activity element is overseen by the Inclusive Activities team at Wiltshire Council, with sessions led by qualified staff alongside support staff, many of which are teaching assistants in special schools across Wiltshire, bringing valuable knowledge and experience to the sessions. In addition to the physical activity sessions, a new and very exciting arts and creative offer will be developed by the Arts and Cultural team, who are busy consulting with children and young people around the county to find out what opportunities individuals and families would like to see offered. Young people who are eligible for Activity Plus can take part in 12 weeks of term time activities, as well as 1 week of school holiday provision. So, school holiday provision. During the summer holidays, there will be 32 sessions delivered across the county. These take place in Warminster, Marlborough, Tidworth, Salisbury and Melksham. Each day will be split into 2 sessions. A morning session for children and young people with lower support needs, which will be a larger group, and an afternoon session for children and young people with higher support needs. This will be a quieter group with the option of one-to-one support. Full details of sessions can be found on the Inclusive Wiltshire booking system. Alongside this, we'll be developing term time activities. During term time, we will run multi-activity clubs in key areas across the county. Currently, these clubs are in Trowbridge, Salisbury and Chippenham. Clubs are designed to support children and young people to take part in physical activity, build confidence, make new friends and enjoy a supportive environment that meets their needs. We are planning to introduce 3 more clubs in the autumn, with further development planned for 2027. The activities will be shaped by participants, giving young people the chance to share their ideas and help design the sessions. Again, keep checking back to the Inclusive Wiltshire booking system as activities will be added throughout the year. Alongside both these term time delivery and school holiday programs, we're looking to run some consultations to help us improve, design and develop the Activity Plus offer and plan for the future. We'll be running a consultation to give families and children and young people the opportunity to share their views. Your feedback will help us decide which activities to offer, where they should take place, and the best times to run them. The consultation surveys will be live for both the physical activity and arts offers in due course. I'll now hand you over to Joe to talk through the other strands. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. My name's Joe. So most of my role is usually around the local offer and information for families and young people around additional needs in Wiltshire. And as part of that, Inclusive Wiltshire and its portal sits within our website. And so I'm really pleased to have been able to kind of expand our team and our involvement around Inclusive Wiltshire. And we now are working on the activities with the community side of things and supporting with some of the background admin, which I'll go on to in a minute as well. The positive feedback we've had from community activities so far, even though it's really early days, has been really exciting to see. Even before we started, we had amazing conversations with providers across Wiltshire with all kinds of diverse and unique clubs and activities and sports, things that we'd never even considered before that are actually out there or reachable around nearby our county that people might be interested in or actually really wanted to increase their inclusive offer. So far, we've got 29 that are added on there. That's taken from our just listings. And actually, those individual listings, if you go to their websites, you may find that they've actually got lots more on because that's one provider, but they're doing all kinds of things over the summer holidays and they've got other stuff that can be found. So it's constantly growing and we're really pleased with the quality of the things that we're finding. So that just keeps going forward. So please keep checking back in to see what's changed, what's new, particularly over the summer. We really want to ramp that up as much as we can. So there's lots and lots of things to find. They might be one-off events, or they might be kind of things that run continually, like football clubs and things like that have just got a routine offer throughout the year. Really nice to have our first creative pilot event. Rob mentioned within their team they're looking at the arts offer as well. So we've got the first one that's been booked on. You'll see a lot of them as we're kind of trialling those through this year coming through on the community activities offer, even though it's run by some of the team that Rob works with, because it's easy to kind of go through to a provider, look at their booking links, and that's how that part of the system works. If you're familiar with going through for the Plus offer, it's more of a kind of request, and then you'll have a contact from a team member who may approve or discuss your needs with you. So one thing that we're looking to do next around it as things kind of ramp up is develop more news and information. So as family members, if you're going on there looking at an offering and wondering, is this the right thing for me? We want to keep developing the information for you to give you confidence in making your choices, adding to kind of what pictures and things we can show you, walkthroughs of the sites, what to expect when you get there. All of those things we know are important. So we're looking at ways that we can do that. And for the providers themselves, we're working with them to find out what they need to know to develop their practices, to make them more inclusive, to be able to bring more people on and give them the confidence to do more for more people. And as signposted, it's about drawing the information and drawing on the specialist teams that we've got access to within the county to provide that information that we're in such a unique position to be able to do. And listening to you as families and young people constantly to come up with the amazing suggestions that you come out with, and take those on board and add new things and adjust the way that we do things. And you'll see that we're constantly doing that, hopefully. Next slide, please. So one of the ways that we can really evidence that we are listening is actually through the payments side of things. So if you're one of the families that has been engaged with that and has requested that eligibly, then you will have had lots of conversations with us probably, and emails to let you know how we're getting on with that. It's a new system, so we have got bits that we've been kind of tweaking and adjusting, and a lot of that has been driven by comments and user experiences. So we've revised some of the criteria around kind of not having an EHCP, some of the things for having an EHCP, and hopefully that's making it more accessible for more families in the right way. And that is purely driven by just our interactions with you. So please do reach out, do email us, do let us know things. We're always reading those things. We will come back. As this system grows and as we iron out little tweaks that we need to make, it will get faster and it will become more automated and be able to pick up more things. As our little team, we've been doing a lot manually as we start things off, but it will get smoother and smoother as we go. So we appreciate your patience. Some of you may have had a message today where we've had another thing we've had to come and tweak, but we're getting really close to that point where it's all working as we want it to, and it just keeps getting better going forward. So we're still aiming for that point before the school summer holidays to make sure everyone who's got their details in there, it's sorted out and the payments are made, and we're really confident that we will make that target. So yeah, please do work with us as we try to ensure that for you. I think that might be all of my slides there. I've got to move on to the next one. Oh, just a few points on kind of support around the service as well. So we want to make sure that families can access kind of support in a variety of different ways. So email, that certainly comes through to us on our team in the Inclusive Wiltshire inbox. We've got amazing family hubs across the county that you can go into. You can contact them through their phone line, through their email, through the contact forms. And they're very much able to kind of walk through forms and help support you, not just with Inclusive Wiltshire, but it's making people aware that they're there to support families with a wide range of things in accessing services and walking through that process. And you've also got the libraries offer kind of digital support sessions which are bookable on the computers that you can access. So we really do want to emphasise through this and make use of all of those things that are available across the county in Wiltshire.
We are now coming to the question and answer section of the webinar. So I'll take up those pre-submitted questions first. Thanks, everybody. So Rob, I've got a question for you. We're keen to find local SEN activities for a 7-year-old near Corsham.
Thanks, Sue. So we do have activities running in Corsham, one being Inclusive Play. So Inclusive Play is for children and young people from 0 to 12 years old. It runs from Springfield Community Campus on the first Saturday of every month from 3 till 5 p.m. There's free parking on site. The centre is accessible. We have a maximum of 25 spaces available per Saturday, and booking is made through the inclusive activities at wiltshire.gov.uk website. Inclusive Play is a sensory soft play activity for children and young people. So there's lots to do. Parent and carers are encouraged to stay, and it is full of tough trays, bouncy castle, music, and all sorts going on.
Great, thank you, Rob. Next question is for Lucianne. How were the triage questions chosen that determine each child's offer? They are very generic and do not reflect individual needs, which vary from person to person. Does this not go against being inclusive?
Thank you, Sue. the questions actually worked with parents and carers and young people, partners, including the WPCC, to write these questions to make sure they fitted as widely as they could, try and encompass as much as we'd need to find out to meet the needs of families. I'm sorry they sound like too generic, but they do get us to where we need to go with the eligibility checker. We feel that the questions are fair and they help us to determine the right choices. But actually, if you're not happy, we will listen to this feedback and we'll make sure that we'll respond to change as we can going through the programme. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucianne. Catherine, one for you. Why are not all leisure centres offering SEND activities as part of this? For example, Marlborough currently has nothing and staff there said they were not asked. Why are there no post-18 SEND swimming lessons? Thank you.
Thanks, Sue, and thank you for who sent that question in. Yes, so I think, as I said earlier, Inclusive Wiltshire is always a programme that has been designed to grow, evolve and improve over time. So what we're trying to do actively at the moment is work to build on the offer and widen awareness, expand those activity options and continue to improve that alignment with young people's needs and existing commitments. Now, there are many engagement sessions planned across the whole year, and information like this will help us to make sure that the most relevant offer is being provided in the right localities. There are currently 15 inclusive Wiltshire community activities that are delivered across Wiltshire Council's leisure facilities, and we are absolutely looking to build on these. And we've also now made sure that all leisure centre members have been briefed about inclusive Wiltshire sessions, so you shouldn't get another instance where people are not aware if you're talking to staff in our leisure centres.
Thank you, Thank you, Catherine. And Lucianne, another one for you. Why has the option for a payment been removed? My son has been accessing an SEN swimming class using his funding, and losing this option would be a great shame. When I raised this via the feedback email, I was told to check again after updates, which only added canoeing.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the question, and thank you, Sue. I'm very excited to hear that canoeing's there as an option for children with SEND. I think that's a really, really great opportunity. There are activities being added all the time to Inclusive Wiltshire, and if the SEM swimming class isn't there, I hope that then there will be opportunities for you to see those. It's part of the development of Inclusive Wiltshire that we review to ensure that funding went where it could to those with the highest need, and the activity payment still remains available, so those eligible children will still receive this, and especially if their needs can't be met through the wider programme. And eligibility is based on the information provided in your application and the assessment. For those not receiving an activity payment, we have expanded the range, and as I said, we continue to grow the activities in the inclusive activities range, and so there'll be greater choice and more support, and there is support for young people in those activities. It is a new programme, and this feedback is really great to us, and we will continue to respond to feedback, and if we find, and we will continue to work to deliver what it is that families want and what children want. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucianne. Jo, a question for you. Are there any opportunities for activities involving being around or looking after animals? My autistic son is an aspiring Chris Packham, Steve Brackshaw. Thank you.
Very much look forward to dealing with that one. That's the really nice thing for me is that all of these I want to hear, and we've got a big spreadsheet with all of the kind of contacts building on there, and we're targeting kind of who we go out to first. Obviously, we have to kind of base it around the highest amounts of feedback we get around what people are wanting. But yeah, absolutely everything is on the table for us. We will go out and cajole people into doing whatever we can to put more and more on. My background I've got some background in animals as well, so that will certainly I'll be putting my hand up to go and do some visits and see if I can convince people to come on board.
Great, thanks, Jo. So one question for Catherine. Why is there nothing available for children with higher support needs, e.g. one-to-one support? Will there be anything in the future that can offer this level of support?
Thanks, Sue. And I suppose this builds on slightly from Lucianne's answer a moment ago. For those children and young people who have got high support needs, we have Activity Extra, which we talked about a few moments ago. Now, I am aware that the Activity Extra programme is currently full, but for those who are eligible, they may be offered an activity payment, which would help in terms of parent carers sourcing suitable activities. We're really mindful of where there is greater demand in this system and where we might need to be creating additional capacity. So we're looking closely at that and again evolving what this offer looks like. We're also continuing to add to the activities that are available. So please do keep coming back to the Inclusive Wiltshire web pages for more details.
Thanks, Catherine. And Lucianne, one for you. My child has recently become home educated due to being unable to cope at school or alternative provision. Why does this now mean he no longer qualifies for payment, but is instead deemed able to attend group sessions? When completing the form as if he were still in alternative provision 3 months ago, he qualifies, yet his needs have not changed. Why are home educated children treated differently?
Thank you very much for that question. And again, I'd like to say that home educated children are not treated differently. They are as eligible for the funding as any, not for the funding, for the scheme as any other child. And it does come down to what is completed on the form and what you put in there. So as part of the development, as we said, the funding arrangements were changed. We made sure that the funding went to the activities to where it was needed. And basically, it's trying to broaden out the offer to make it more inclusive so that we do have this inclusive Wiltshire offer. And the eligibility is based on the information provided in your application and your assessment. And there, for those not receiving an activity payment, we still have expanded this range of inclusive activities. So to say, we're happy to hear your feedback. We want to respond to. So actually, if this parent wants to write into Inclusive Wiltshire inbox, we're really happy to hear what it is that you want and to make sure that we can shape the service for all of those children who need something slightly different.
Great, thanks, Lucianne. Catherine, another one for you. How does your criteria adjust for older children? My 17-year-old's needs are high, but very different from when he was younger.
Okay. Yeah, that's really important, isn't it? That we're reflecting not only differences in need, but also what those differences might look like for the age of our young people. The options provided through the Inclusive Wiltshire offer should reflect the information that you gave as part of the application process. We're keen to offer a range of activities across all ages, and we do know that the needs of older children and young people can be very different compared to those of our youngest children, even where support needs remain high. So our eligibility process really looks at a young person's current support needs and their ability to access activities independently rather than their age alone. So we're not just looking at their age, we're looking more broadly than that. For our older young people, we're considering factors such as communication skills, social interaction, emotional regulation, personal care needs, and the level of support that a young person might need to be able to participate safely and meaningfully in activities. Now, of course, we want to make sure that we're continually developing those activities for the older age groups. And again, really welcome feedback from families about the sorts of things that your young people would be most interested in to ensure that the offer meets the needs of our young people in Wiltshire as they grow and as they become more independent.
Thank you, Catherine. Lucianne, one for you. Why has this process taken so long? I applied in the first day and there has been no movement. I am appalled with this new process.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm really sorry that someone's not very happy with the process and what has happened on the system. I will say that it should be an instant response. So as soon as you submit your details, you should get a result of the options that are available to you. And if you are having issues, please do email into Inclusive Wiltshire at wiltshire.gov.uk, and we can look into that. But also, if that is referring to the payments, and the payments, as Jo said earlier, we are getting out and we are on track to have those payments out before the summer holidays. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucianne. And Catherine, another one for you, if that's okay. Up to what age can a child get support and help? My 17-year-old is really struggling with life in general and has no future at present. Those professionals that should have helped her have mostly all failed her so far. And we've gone round in circles so many times, I don't know what to do anymore. Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. And I just want to say I'm really sorry to hear this, and we absolutely want to support you and your 17-year-old. We know that these kind of key periods of transition, particularly sort of that pathways forward into adulthood, can be a difficult or challenging time. Now, a number of the activities that are in our offer are for a range of ages up to the age of 25. So we do hope that you and your daughter will keep looking at the Inclusive Wiltshire pages to see any new offers and to see what might be relevant for her. I think the other thing I would say is it sounds as though maybe that we might be able to support you with some wider advice and information. So please, if you would be willing to contact Inclusive Wiltshire at wiltshire.gov.uk, so our Inclusive Wiltshire email address, we'll reach out to you directly to see how else we might be able to help. Thanks, Sue.
Thanks, Catherine. And Lucianne, one more for you. While I have a child who needs support, my local support hubs like Tidworth, Dingley's have never replied to emails from myself or parent. It is very frustrating to tell parents of this support and have them ignored.
Thank you, Sue. And again, really sorry that someone feels that they have been ignored, and that isn't what we like to happen to parents. So I think it'd be really good if the parent or the carer, whoever it is that's written this question on behalf of the parent, would message the Inclusive Wiltshire inbox. As we said, that's Inclusive Wiltshire at wiltshire.gov.uk, and we can then make sure it gets the right person. We will follow that up internally to make sure that someone does respond to that parent, because we don't like people being left without any response. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucianne. And if I can just ask you another one, how long is the wait to be seen by an early years inclusion officer?
Okay, it shouldn't be a very long wait to see an inclusion officer, so thank you again for this question. So again, put it in the if the person who asked this question could put it into the Inclusive Wiltshire inbox, we'll get back to you, because inclusion officers are available. It could be there might be a slightly longer waiting list in part of the country, but part of the county, but generally they do get out as soon as they can. So pop the question in and we'll make sure that we get someone out to see the children. Okay, thank you.
That's great, thank you. Rob, if I can ask another question of you. Are there plans to have social groups for young adults who need support to socialise and not necessarily be interested in sports or crafts?
Thanks, Sue. We are keen to explore activities or social situations young people are interested in. So as I mentioned earlier, part of our consultation is to find out this information, and we're really pleased to hear about what it is young people wish to engage in. So the content of these groups can then be decided as we go, with full involvement of young people. But we want to ensure that we meet the needs for young people. So please do keep an eye out for the future consultation and have your say, because that will help us shape our programme going forward.
Great, thanks, Rob. And then a question about activity payment. When will I receive the activity payment? Lucianne, if you can take that one.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. And as I just said, we are those of you who are eligible and have requested the option and have ensured all their information. Now, we do know there's been a request to resubmit your information, but resubmit your bank details, and they're all correct on the system. It's working well now, and the first activity payments we made in time for the school summer holidays. Thank you.
That's great, thank you. So gone through pretty much all of the submitted questions in advance. We've got a few that have come through on the chat, so we'll go through a few of those now as well. If I can first of all start with a question that's come through from Claire Love. Lucianne, if you can answer this one, thank you. My son requires 2-to-1 level of support. He has never really been able to access anything offered, even under the previous short break scheme. Bernardo's tried extremely hard to try and meet needs and make adaptations, but this was not possible. Will the scheme ever be able to offer anything other than money to children with high levels of support required? As honestly, we don't want the money. Until then, it feels like Inclusive Wiltshire is not fully inclusive.
And thank you very much, Claire, for this question. And this is what we absolutely want, is Inclusive Wiltshire to be inclusive. And we want to hear from you what it is that would work for your child, to hear from your child what it is that they'd like to do, and to see what we can do to adapt to make sure that sessions can work and be appropriate for your child's needs. So again, it's another one of those facts. If you can pop into the Inclusive Wiltshire inbox, we'll get back to you, have a conversation, and then look at how we can make activities suitable for all children.
Thanks, Lucy-Anne. And Rob, I've got another one for you. Is there a limit to the number of term time or holiday clubs I can book my child onto?
Thanks, Sue. Yes, so there is a limit on both. You can book your child onto 12 weeks of term time delivery and 1 week of school holiday provision, which equates to 4 days.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Lovely. Lucy-Anne, if I can ask you another question. We've got one person who's come in and said, my 12-year-old son struggles in group settings with people he does not know. The triage questions do not allow for this type of need as they are too generic and appear to force stereotypical views rather than inclusive views.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry that's the way the questions appear, because they were written to sort of reflect social anxieties as part of that, and we understand that some children do have those concerns. There are, again, courses available for family and community learning around social anxiety, and the team that work on these inclusive activities are at the door and ready to support children who do have anxieties. They were created, these questions, in co-production with children and families, and if there's any groups that you feel your 12-year-old might like to attend, then we're really happy to talk to you, to support you and your child to get into those activities, to try and remove that anxiety and also support you with other courses that might be available to help you.
That's great. Thanks, Lucy-Anne. And if I can give you another one to answer, if that's okay. My daughter is able to access mainstream clubs. However, she needs more activities to keep her occupied in the holidays than other children. Her age 15, so we use the short breaks payment for that. Now that option is not available to her anymore, and I'm sure it is cheaper than her taking a place in the community's activities or Activity Plus programs.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. And again, we have tried to match the activities to need, and it is, again, if it isn't available, I'm really sorry, that was one that you thought was suitable. Message Inclusive Wiltshire chat. Let's have a chat and see what it is that would work for your child, so that we can make sure they get the appropriate support and activity.
That's great. Thanks, Lucy-Anne. Just got a few more questions. Joe, if I can ask this one of you. None of the activities are suitable for my child. What do I do?
I have to echo some of the other comments, I think. So yeah, talking to us is the main thing. So everything people say doesn't get lost. We record kind of the themes that people are raising to us, and that's all recorded, and that's already helped us make a lot of the changes that we've seen. If some people have raised things because they haven't been in a while and they previously didn't have things, they may go back in now and find that they do. If we've seen a weight of people saying they've had a particular thing not quite as we'd expect, we have responded, and it really does have to grow. I mean, we're in the grand scheme of this we're talking about kind of doing this for years and years and years, and building this up and listening and going out there and finding those things that people are suggesting to us, and finding ways to do those things. And certainly it involves humans going around doing things, and that doesn't happen instantly, so it will take us a bit of time to get there, but we want to get there. We all want to achieve that for everyone. So yeah, work with us, tell us what you need, and we will get there.
Great, thank you. And Rob, we just had a comeback on one of the questions that was asked previously. It says, an example of my previous comment is this: my child needs some support, or my child needs a high level of support. My response falls in between the two. So should I go for the higher support response? Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Sue, and to again echo some of the comments that have been answers that have been made already. Please do talk to us. We're happy within our team to have those conversations to try and identify the activities that are best suitable for your child or young person to make sure the correct support is in place. So we're happily speak to you and advise you on what activities are suitable for your child.
Thanks, Rob. And if I can just ask one more question of you. There's a question, why aren't the activities shown in my local area?
So we are offering a range of options across Wiltshire, but we do appreciate being such a large rural county, some options may not be local, and we are aware that travel can be a challenge. We are continuing to grow the offer and aim to increase local opportunities over time. And in response to feedback, we have added filtering so you can see activities in your area. Meanwhile, do take a look at the Inclusive Wiltshire pages as we are continuing to expand activities across the county. So hopefully something may come up in your area or nearby fairly soon.
That's great. Thanks, Rob. And Joe, I think we may have answered this one already, but if you just happy to go through this one again, we would like a broader range of activities to be available. How do we share our suggestions?
So there will be different consultation things coming up. So I think Rob mentioned earlier as well, specific things happening. So I also mentioned in Salisbury, we've got our first kind of creative session. That's also linked to our arts lead wanting to do this kind of pizza and Polaroid session where they'll also be listening to what people are saying and the feedback they've got about what kinds of creative arts things they want to do in the area. So they get to do something and feed into developments at the same time. Tell us on email, but I'm sure there'll be surveys and things that will be going out across the year. But nothing is lost if you tell it to us. So in the short term, if you just want to drop us an email at inclusivewiltshire@wiltshire.gov.uk and just say these are the kind of things that I'd like, we will make sure we'll say thank you and we'll record all of that and make sure that goes into our kind of master plan of where we find all of this from over the coming years.
That's great, thank you. And we just have, it's probably the final question of the evening. This one is for you, Rob. My child has social anxiety and is not keen on group activities. How can we benefit from Inclusive Wiltshire?
Thanks for your question. We completely understand this, and we have a team of staff in place who are kind of well adverse to dealing with or supporting young children with social anxiety. It would be really helpful if we could have a chat with kind of any parent, carer about this and see what support we may be able to put in place, or if there is an activity that they may want to try. There is also a wider support around supporting children and young people with anxiety available, including from our family and community learning courses for eligible families. Details of their events with dates and times are available on their website. And do also have a look at the wider inclusive options in our libraries, youth groups, community arts and sports clubs and community programmes. More details can be found on the What's On in the Community Wiltshire Council pages.
Great, thank you. Thanks very much, Rob. And I think that pretty much comes to the end of the Q&A. So if we can go to the next slide, please. Caleb, thank you. So thank you once again for taking the time out to join us this evening and for your questions and your comments. We hope you found this informative. We will upload this webinar to our YouTube channel and it will be available with a link on the local offer pages in the next few days. So thank you so much for joining us and have a great evening. Thank you.